It's that time again. Time for some real talk about real issues to enhance your real life. Whatever you think, whatever you know, whatever you feel, Tanya doesn't mind talking about it. Get ready for some real talk that is always rated R, because Talk with Tanya has got to be relevant. Talk with Tanya has got to be refreshing. But most importantly, Talk with Tanya has got to be real. Tune in right now for Real Talk with Tanya White.
Hello, I know y'all looking at an episode of the regular Real Talk with Tanya White show, and here's a live pop-up of the 2025 Today's Woman Most Admired Women Nominees special. We have back-to-back interviews, starting with Holly Hartman, that gorgeous red hair. I know if you're on social media, you have seen this name, you have seen her work, and now you get to experience her on the Real Talk with Tanya White show. Hello, Holly.
Hi, thank you for letting me be on, and everybody that's watching and listening, welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Listen, Holly, we're glad that you're on. You are a celebrity. I don't know if you know that. You are a celebrity.
No way.
Yes, you are. Tell us who Holly Hartman is, and we see that you're the co-founder of the WO Network. Then tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I am what a lot of people will mention. I'm a multi-passionate, and that might be why you see me in lots of different places. But what I really stand for is I love building communities for women to thrive. I also am focused on women's empowerment, and also it's important to me to advance equity. So I have lots of different lanes that I'm a part of, and I have my own marketing agency as well, called The Pop Agency, and it's purposeful on-brand promotion. But everything I do is about making an impact on the world and working with social impact leaders, so they can do the thing that brings them joy, but also makes an impact.
That also makes an impact. It's nothing like doing something that not only brings you joy, but people can feel positivity. They can feel and get benefits from what you do. And so thank you for all you do. Now let's talk about this pop agency. How did you become into marketing and branding? Because that is a specialty. And most people think they can do it, but most people don't do it well.
Well, so I've been in sales and marketing for over 20 years. I worked for pharmaceuticals for a long time. So I've been in medical sales and marketing for a long time. And I left some toxic marriages and learned a lot about what it took to live in a world where I didn't surround myself around toxic people. And also I have a passion for creating safe spaces for others. So I am a trauma-informed leader. So the spaces that I create, I try to curate to have healthy boundaries where people can show up as their authentic self. And so with that, I embodied my own brand so much that I'm like, with my marketing background, to then go, I want to amplify you in your authentic self so your brand can stand out. And so I do personal branding AI photo shoots, which you may have seen all over the place.
Gorgeous.
I've been helping so many women leaders in our community. It's been such a humbling experience. I do graphic design. I do event promotion. So the whole gamut. It really is like, if it makes an impact and we can amplify you. And we do that in my women's networking group too, the WO Network. We launched that a little over 2 years ago. We're the fastest growing women's networking group in this region, with over 3,200 women now at this point.
Wow.
And all professionals in this community, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, small business owners, business professionals, people in this particular amazingness of Today's Woman Most Admired. There were my understanding is there was 400 nominations total. Of that, they had 100. Of that 100, 55 of them are members of the WO Network. And
wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had clap. I'm gonna have to do the original clap. Listen. First of all, congratulations to all of us, because 400, and when I found that out, I was like, what? And it's just a blessing to be in the final number. But then you have a double blessing of 55 women in this category are a part of the network that you co-founded.
Yeah.
Give us 3 adjectives to describe how you felt when you got that statistic.
Oh, it's affirming. It's affirming that what we're doing to amplify other women in our community is working.
Yes.
It's just exciting because many women that I speak to aren't used to being spotlighted in this way, or are uncomfortable being spotlighted in this way. And the reality is, if you don't work in a corporation, you often don't get celebrated in this way. And actually, I don't know if I have the book in front of me, but this is another one I have. But I have a book called Don't Forget to Celebrate. This one's
right.
Self-Care RX. But I wrote a book on don't forget to celebrate, because oftentimes us as women, we don't slow down to celebrate, or we don't feel valuable enough to celebrate ourselves. And so my encouragement to the women in our group is allow yourself to be nominated. Embrace that, welcome that, because when in life, as us as solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, do we get celebrated?
Yeah.
And so that's really the message that I share with our group of accept it, receive it, because that's our feminine energy of being able to receive. And what a beautiful modeling to young women coming up, to other women in business, to other women that think, I don't know if I could do that. And we're modeling how to live an empowered life in the things that we're called to do.
Oh my goodness. Holly, you are talking my life language. The thing that makes me get up and be who I am. It's all about acceptance, receiving some things. And when you accept, I think it begins with accepting who you are and not what you do, that helps you do what you do more powerfully.
Absolutely.
And so that self-care. Now, don't forget to celebrate. Now, a lot of people say, I know how I celebrate myself. How do you really know, Holly, that you are celebrating yourself authentically at the same level that you celebrate others?
Yeah, I actually have a 90-day journal that helps people do it.
Where can we get that, Holly?
It's on Amazon. It's called Don't Forget to Celebrate. And I actually have a special gift for all of the nominees, where everybody will be getting a book that's been nominated. But it's a 90-day journal, and it's almost like a life coach book in a way, of like help you navigate some different things in life. It starts with gratitude every day, that if we start with the frequency of gratitude, we call in and we're open to more receiving of the good stuff. If we're always looking at the negative and not celebrate, like today I found a Snicker in my car and I was super excited. I'm like, yes, because I can be that commercial, the Snicker commercial. I'm like,
oh yes,
having my lifeblood of a Snicker sometimes is what I need, or my Coke Zero.
Yeah.
But celebrating those simple things, but also the big things, like a nomination for an award like this. Recently this year too, just like a month ago, I got NABO, which is the National American Association of Women in Business. I got the Kentucky Women in Business of the Year award.
Let's stop and celebrate that. Y'all give her a hand right there. Y'all don't listen. Honorable. How did you feel? First of all, we feel grateful getting nominated, but how did you feel winning? That is a prestigious, sacred award.
Yeah, it was. They had the biggest nominations they had ever had, and they had, I think, 60, and they narrowed it down to 30. And at the event, and I had asked my dad to come to celebrate with me. I said, Dad, I am not winning this, but I'm happy to be nominated, and I'm grateful to be here. And, so we go in, and then they go, okay, here's the top 6. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the top 6. Like, yes, I'm bawling. My business partner's beside me, and I rode down with Amanda Dare, who's also one of the nominees, and and Gretchen Hunt had just won the Public Service Award.
Yes.
And so we're all at this mastermind table, and I'm like, there's no way, but I'm just so grateful. And then when they said, okay, the top 3 were a tie, And we had to go back to the judges, and this wasn't a voting one. This was working with judges, and then I still won number one. I won, and I was shaking. I went up there like, "Are you even going to be able to like talk?" And I was like, I looked at my dad in the crowd, and I said, "Dad, I can only see you. There's like 1,000, I don't know how many people in the room, and I'm like, I see you, Dad." And I just lost my mom in November, so having my dad there,
yes,
was like so powerful. And I was like, "Dad, I'm not going to win." I look at him, I said, I didn't know this was going to happen. I wasn't prepared for this. And so to say it was humbling, and what the download I had from it was, this was for all of us.
Yes.
This was that all I could say was collaboration over competition, which is my belief system.
That's it.
Because the reality is NAWBO is kind of would be considered a competitor of our group, right?
Yeah.
We partner with them, so I'm not. But to outside looking in, it could be that. So for me to win and to be celebrated in that space, it was a win for all women that are doing this thing, and that we're leading by example, and that we're living our passion for our purpose, and we can still make a profit from it, and that's okay too.
Yeah, that last part right there, Holly, that last part, we can still make a profit, because isn't that how you take care of yourself? Is when you make profits from the business that you started out of love.
Yes.
But you want to make the profit. Holly Hartman, well, congratulations for your recent win. Condolences for you losing your mom. Did you kind of feel that she was like, "Hey, I see you, baby girl"?
Oh, 100%. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that my life has changed in the past 6 months so drastically. I'd already been working in these ways to make this happen, but she is orchestrating on my behalf. And we had a challenging relationship, but her pure soul self is there, loving me and supporting me. And I feel that. I feel her channeling through me and the way. And she was an entrepreneur.
Yes.
She was a community builder. And so I get to celebrate the gifts that my mother gave me and amplify that to make a greater impact.
And that is what you're doing, making a greater impact, not only on social media. Like I said, you're a celebrity. I see you everywhere, but also in the Louisville community. What does this Today's Woman, Most Admired Woman nomination mean to you?
What it does, especially in Louisville, just even the nomination, is allows us to be seen and allows us to be seen as leaders.
Yes.
Then get invited to tables that maybe we weren't invited to before, where we can have discussions that change is happening and transformation is happening. So for me, it's the hope that I get invited to tables where change is happening, and that I get to be a part of the conversation and be a part of the change. That's what I hope it comes from this for me. It's not about an award or popularity contest. It's about validation and about edification and about celebration of womanhood in general. And the fact that we're taking the time to celebrate ourselves and one another. I mean, I'm voting every
me too.
Every category, because I am somebody that leads by example. If I'm going to ask that of you, I'm going to do it the same. I'm not going to ask you to do anything I'm not willing to do myself.
Yeah.
Which is probably why you see me everywhere. If I'm going to say you need to be somewhere, I'm going to be there too, because it's important.
Well, thank you so much. How can people stay connected with you on Facebook, Holly?
Yeah, just you can find me on Holly Hartman. You can friend me. I love connection. It's my top core value. So send me a message. You can look at the pop.agency. You can go to the WOA network, join for free. It's free to join. If you're a woman in our community, join it, celebrate, and send me a message. I'd love to talk with you.
Well, thank you so much, Holly. I look forward to meeting you. I think next Saturday, we get to meet in person. So I look forward to experiencing your energy in person. Go vote for Holly. Holly, what category are you in again?
I'm in community and sisterhood.
Community and sisterhood. That's what it is. Go vote for Holly Hartman. Holly, thank you so much. And up next, we have the balloon artist herself, Tenesha Marshall. Tenesha Martin. Where did I get that from? Tenesha Marshall. Where's she at? The balloon artist. Braids. You better bring it.
For spring break, I had to pop out and show them.
Pop out and show that Stella got her groove.
Yeah.
Okay. The balloon artist.
Yeah.
Tenesha Marshall. Everything balloons, everything artistry, everything that makes everything look so pretty. Thank you for coming on. Congratulations for your nomination. Look, she didn't text me when she found out we was both in the same category. I said, girl, we're going to celebrate because it is 6, what is it, 5 of us? 5 out of 7. Melanin, gorgeous women educators. I think that's the most I've seen in the category, first of all.
Yes.
So listen, you the most admired woman and has been for years up in this city. And so this is just a cherry on top. How you doing, lady?
I'm doing great. But first, I want to say congratulations to your nomination. Of course, we met, years ago down the line and developed a sisterhood, unbeknownst. And that's why it's so important to think about the people you meet and the path you cross, because you don't know where you're going to be 10 years from now. And lo and behold, did not know that you and I will be operating in this space today together, which is so awesome.
So awesome. Tenesha was that mentor advice when I first became a counselor. And y'all know how long it took me to become a counselor, and just learning and watching and just, when you need advice, God will send you that. So she is that voice of wisdom, that advice, and still doing her thing. Tell us, first of all, what you do between the hours of 8 and 4, and then you are you just author, you are everything.
Yeah, right? Thank you. I tell people I have a 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9.
That's
and
right.
Then maybe a 10 to 12 midnight. So I spent 20 years as a school counselor, and recently I moved to the wonderful office of student relations in the culture climate department on February the 3rd.
Come on now.
Right up my alley. I still have the ability to meet with kids, meet with families, continue to provide resources. So I am just truly honored to operate in that space, because I've spent over 26 years in a school. So this is a different change of pace for me, but I love it. And I'm still connected with students at Spalding because I've been teaching there for 10 years. And then, of course, by night and weekend, I flipped the script and turned into the balloon artist.
The balloon artist, the entrepreneur. Every event now that you see in Louisville where you see balloons, it better be a Tenesha Marshall balloon creation. If not, you losing out. But let's go back. As when I said you the most admired woman, you've been all your life because you was a superstar track athlete.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. At Valley, right?
Yes, and a basketball star.
Okay, come on with it.
And I actually tell people I think I was a better basketball player than track runner, but I just recently shared that I was a basketball player because I've only been operating in this social media space for about 4.5 years. So prior to that, unless you knew me, you didn't know who Tenesha was. Like, people didn't know I was an educator, didn't know I was an adjunct professor. They just thought I was a balloon artist, which is a great compliment. But I've just done so many things, in my life. And being a track star athlete, I grew up in the spotlight and, doing news interviews, doing media, all of that. So now it's one of those things where all of those seeds were planted then and in the trees. And now those trees are blossoming, because you know how long it takes for a tree to actually grow. And one thing people need to realize is that this project that people are looking at, it did not happen overnight. It has been a work in progress, and God has been working on me for many, many, many years. It's just that people didn't know who Tenesha was. So now I'm becoming more comfortable telling people who I am. I shared pictures of my students the other day and talked about my education career, where I worked, all of those things.
Yeah. And so you have always been able to balance being being active in sports and school, and somehow it must have slipped that you was an adjunct professor, but I probably knew that. How does one balance? I'm hearing all this. I'm like, what she do it all? How do you balance all that?
I joke and tell people that I eat those get up and go bars from Big Mama on the Proud Family. You remember that episode?
Yep.
And she was on Oprah, and she put her foot in the stuff on the Oprah show. So I joke and say that I eat a lot of get up and go bar, but really it's having setting boundaries and a balance. You would be surprised how much time people waste spending time doing things that are not important.
Yes.
So I spoke at a conference this summer for school counselor, and it was titled The Super Counselor. And I talked about how I'm able to balance everything. And one of the exercises that I shared with them was, I told them to pull out their cell phone and go to their screen time and see where they are spending their time. And one person in the room, she was on TikTok like 16 hours a day or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Just on and it's only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
So people were blown away and surprised where they were spending their time. And for me, it seems like I'm everywhere on social media, but I'm on and I'm off. I can't spend my time all day looking at getting sucked up into the latest gossip, drama, all of that. And you have so much time when you focus on the things that are important, which is your family, your faith, your job, those kinds of things. But I set those boundaries on the weekends because Sundays are my days of worship, my days of rest, with my family. And I take time to see, what do I have for the week? What do I need to do here? I spend Sundays, grading my papers for Spalding. So I have certain days for certain things, because I'm also heavily involved in my sororities, Zeta Phi Beta sorority.
I was going to say, y'all better give it up for the Blue Phi family. And she is very active.
Yes.
One of the movers and shakers of how we know what Zeta is doing, what they're about, and she loves her sorority. That's why it's like, how do you balance?
Yes, you have to cut it off. I have a 10 o'clock cutoff time where it's my time with my husband and we watch Family Feud. So no balloons, none of that. If it's not done by 10, then tough life. You got to deal with it the next day. So I do have those boundaries to cut off. My kids are older now, so they don't require as much attention as they did. They're teenagers. I have a senior and a freshman.
Okay.
So that has helped tremendously. So again, I just set those boundaries. I try to make sure I don't get overwhelmed with things. And we are emotional human beings, and we need to monitor our mental health and watch what we expose ourselves to. And all the stuff on the news and social media and on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all that, it's too much.
Yeah.
And I balance by cutting a lot of those things off and focusing on what's important and staying driven and focused.
And then your spirit is energized because a lot of junk is not infiltrating it. So all the things that you do, so like, let's talk about your book first before we get The Balloon Artist, her book. She's an author. It is a children's book. And if you don't know, I don't know where you've been if you don't know about The Balloon Artist. Tell us how you came about to write that book and what is it about?
The book is about a 9-year-old girl that lived in Park Hill, and that's true, my life, and how she became upon a discovery of a bag of balloons and just started playing around with them, blowing them up. One thing led to another. She entered a talent show, and the audience were so intrigued by her balloon creations, and they started asking to purchase them. One thing led to another. She got enough money to get a bike, and then was able to get a new pair of shoes. So it talks about that little girl with a dream, raised by a single mom. Money is tight, not having the things that she needs. And that's real talk, you know, real life. Getting clothes from the Goodwill, you know, things like that, just to make it. And in that book, it is to inspire that little girl to follow her dream. And I intentionally mentioned Park Hill in the book. And those kids were blown away, like they could not believe it. So I have the children's book, I have a workbook, and now I have flashcards for preschool and kindergarten age kids that they are being taught to count to 10 in English and in Spanish.
Okay.
So the first set of cards will go to my kids in Park Hill. I am doing a second annual balloon basket, Easter basket drive, where I gift them Easter baskets. And I kid you not, I went from begging for money for baskets to campaigning for mustard mark women. So for me, I'm always thinking about the kids and always thinking about giving back and giving them something that I didn't get. Like I never remember getting an Easter basket in Park Hill. Like I knew it was Easter because we dressed up and went to church. But I don't recall getting Easter baskets and doing a lot of things that I do for those kids out there.
Now, the passion you can hear in your voice, and I'm just literally blown away because I've known you, but now I hear more of the reason why and the drive that you have. And then also you are teaching the next generation of counselors. And I'm still blown away. Where's the time, Tenesha? Where's the time? But as you see and as you pour into this next generation, what are you hoping that they take away from you, Tenesha Marshall, as their teacher, their professor, as they go into their expiring career in counseling?
Before we move to online, my students.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you. There you go. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. Girl, you got something to say before we move to online? That's where you stopped at.
Can you see me? Because I can barely see you.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. So before we moved to online platform, my students know that I'm all about professionalism. I told them you are interviewing every day. So you dress the part. You go into that school and set yourself apart. Wear your jeans on Fridays because you want to give the best impression ever by who you are. So that's the one thing that I want them to gain is that professionalism, and know that you don't know where you're going to be down the line. So you have to be careful how you treat people. You have to be careful how you talk to people. You stay out of gossip circles. Don't say anything about, your supervisor. Don't do all of those things because you don't know where you're going to be. And I can say that I'm so proud of my students. I have over 25 plus that are current school counselors. And Spalding is killing it. I mean, we have some dynamic professors, and we work so hard to study, to learn the craft, all of that, to give them the best education. I'm an IUS grad, and I used to think for years nobody could touch that program hands down. But baby, Spalding is doing it. We have recruited some of the best top school counselors and educators in the district to give these students, these learners, what they need to be the best at their job.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome to hear. Thank you for what you're doing, who you are. Y'all go vote for Tenesha Marshall, today'swomannow.com. In the education category, she is phenomenal. Connect with her on social media. If you need a balloon artist for your next event, she is the woman for the phenomenal job. Girl, much success. Thank you for what you do. I'm going to have you back to talk about these cards. You slipped that in on me and the workbook. We're going to have to talk about that later. Listen, you guys, go vote for today's woman candidate, nominee in the education category, Tenesha Marshall. Thank you so much. And you look fabulous.
Thank you so much. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Amanda Brown up. This is our last one for the night. Miss Amanda, how are you?
I'm good. I did not know I was going to be on camera. So
that's okay, honey.
From a class with my best.
That's okay. Listen, Amanda Brown, you are the most admired woman. And we know as women, we do multiple things.
Yeah, clearly.
So, Amanda, tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I own and instruct at Cycle Bar. So St. Matthews and Middletown, but I came from Vegas. We moved here like 7 years ago. And originally I'm from New York, New Jersey area. Okay. So, but the thing that has brought me through the States has been cycling. So any cycle studio I found, that's brought me friends and my community. So we recently bought the cycle bars last January. So yeah, here we are.
Here you from New York, New Jersey area to Vegas, one of the places I love. Yes. Now to Louisville and cycling.
Yes.
What drew you to the exercise and fitness field?
Well, I hated exercising. Like my entire life, I hated sports. Like my parents always put me in like softball and like trying everything. I hated every single aspect of it. And I was probably like 100 pounds heavier. Then I found cycling when I was like 19. And it was like a nightclub on a bike, and I'm exercising. It's dark, loud, and the community is just like amazing wherever you go. So that's what brought me to cycling. And I've, never been in better shape in my entire life than I have been in the last like 20 years, I guess. So that I'm not athletic at all. Like I always say, I go somewhere else and I'm humbled real quick, but it's my thing, and it's fun, and it's for people who don't necessarily love to work out, because you forget that you're working out.
Yes. And I remember going cycling and doing cycling classes, and you can go real fast without getting hurt. Because you listen to the music and you be like, I'm up to speed.
Yeah. You don't even know that you're doing these crazy things because like the music is so good. And there's so many people who are so different, and everyone is just accepted for who they are, no matter what. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Now, getting the Today's Woman, Most Admired Woman nominee. Tell us about that.
I was so excited because I mean, I don't know how I was nominated or who, but I work with a lot of young girls, which has been throughout my whole life. I was a Girl Scout until I was like a senior in high school, and I would be a leader to younger troops. So I've always just been like a kind of like a role model, I guess, to younger girls, and I love like working with them. So I have a team of pretty much all women, and a lot of high schoolers and college kids, and it's just I love talking to them every day and like mentoring them and just like making them into strong women, because that's how I was raised.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't have that privilege to be raised as a strong woman. But my mom was the most amazing example. So I try and pass it on to them. And I was never the most confident person. I was very, very quiet growing up. So I just preach like being yourself, because the second I was myself, I didn't shut up for the last 10 years. So here we are.
That is like me too. People don't understand. I'm not a talker until I'm a talker. But once I start talking,
yes, that
on.
cannot hold us back.
Yes. So Amanda, 7 years in Louisville, cycle bar owner. You meet a lot of women. What is the joy of what you do outside of the exercise? What brings you joy owning a cycle bar?
So number one is like exercise is like second to me always, because you're going to get a workout no matter what you're doing in that room. But like my biggest saying is, do you feel better than when you walked in the room? Like I want to have people come in and leave just feeling motivated and excited and to love exercise. Like I hated it with a passion. I was intimidated. Like I can't, and to this day, I cannot run. Like I can't do anything else really, but this is something that I can do. So me seeing people walk out and smiling, like, I teach a Monday morning class at 9 a.m. Worst time, like no one likes 9 a.m. on Monday morning. It's awful. So me that I get to influence people to have a good week or have a good night or day is the coolest thing in the world. Because I'm a hype girl, I'm a motivator, and the fact that I get to pass that on to people is.
Uh-oh. Amanda left. Oh, man. Wonderful. Listen, you guys. There she comes back. She's coming back. We're going to wait for the cycle bar. Vote for Amanda Brown at the todayswomannow.com in the category of health, athletics, and fitness, I believe. In the cycle bar, we're trying to wait for her to come back. And connect with her on social media. Find her on social media. Find the cycle bar on social media and go take a cycling class from Amanda. It's trying to come on, Amanda. It's trying. I don't know what happened. But that is okay. Amanda, we got your information. We say congratulations to you. There you are. Yay!
I'm sorry. Someone's in the studio, so something is going on. I don't know, but
I said, look, it's trying. We saw the little circle, but tell us where you're located.
Like our studio.
Your studio is located.
Yeah, so one of them is in Middletown. It's in the shopping center, like by the Target. We're next to Darling State of Mind there, Bento Box, and a few other businesses. And then St. Matt's, where are like 3 doors down from Trader Joe's, right next to Toyota. Yes. And listen, I'm the Trader Joe's queen. Like, for me to have a business next to a Trader Joe's is the ultimate dream for me. Like, I am.
Okay. Yes. Now I can see it because I go to Trader Joe's often. I know exactly where you are.
Yeah. 2 doors, like 3 doors down. And also, first ride is always free. So, like, come ride with us. And, like, it's just, I don't know. It's life changing. And it was for me. And I see a lot of people where it changes their life too. And it's cool. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And I look forward to meeting you at on our mixer and at the event. And y'all find Amanda, vote for her. And you're in the athletic and fitness, right?
Yes. Yes.
Athletic and fitness. And if you like cycling, connect with her. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. And we look forward to our next Today's Woman Most Admired Woman nominees. Bye-bye.